Greetings. I am Ashtar. I come at this time, as events are beginning to show themselves more and more across the planet. More and more of our ships are appearing to many more across the planet. It is happening now in the moments you are in right now. And it is going to continue for yet some time, where more and more will become aware of us, to the point where it will no longer be able to be held back any longer. They will no longer be able to hold the covers over it. No longer the veil that covers over the existence of beings beyond this earth. Your brothers and sisters returning once again. Now we have had many council meetings over the year. Many. Deciding one way or the other which direction we should move it. Should we make an overall appearance all at once? But it was decided that that would bring too much fear based on the programming that all of you have received for many years here on the planet from those of the dark forces that continue to attempt to hold control over all of you. That was a decision that was not able to be made. And then other parts of the plan were discussed from time to time, whether it would be over a period of time, and then how long a period of time would it take before we could have full disclosure. And then it was decided that there would be partial disclosure for some time, leading to full disclosure. And that is where we are at right now. It is partial disclosure, leading to more and more full disclosure that is occurring. That was decided at a recent council meeting where many of us gathered together to discuss the possibilities and the potentialities within the plan. It was decided that mankind as a collective was not quite yet ready to receive the full implications of our existence. But slowly now, little by little, that is in a process of change. For more and more are becoming aware of our existence by simply looking up at the night sky and seeing our ships. Seeing through the veil that has been put there, but is no longer there, because those are awakening their third eye. Even though they are not aware of having a third eye or beginning to awaken that as well. For those of the various products, the various ways that your cabal has attempted to hold back the understanding and the realization of your third eye process, that is all being released now more and more, to more and more people. And now more and more do have the eyes to see and the ears to hear as well. To look beyond the programming and to realize that it is indeed programming. Programming the mind to accept that you are not free, that you are to be controlled. And many of you are saying, no. All of you. Certainly on this call, all of you that resonate to these words after this, but many, many more now are also, even, again, at an unconscious level, are realizing that there is so much more to life. And the more and more that you can find yourself living in the moment now, it will help all of you to move through this process, this ascension process that you are in, and to accept the plan as it is spreading out in front of you now. Yes. We understand the discouragement. We understand the anger at times. We understand when you say, enough is enough, and we say that as well. For we would certainly like to move this along much quicker than it is. But we also know that it is not possible to do that. For we cannot interfere with the lives of all of those in the collective. We cannot stand in the way of their soul growth. So we have to allow the process. Thereby, again, in all of the council meetings that we have had, to help determine just how much we are able to assist mankind. But we can tell you, I can tell you now, that all is in readiness. It has been for some time, and we are just waiting to receive the O signal. Just as those of you of the Alliance, on the ground, are waiting to receive the O signal. And yes, there is a O signal. It just needs to find the time frame and the frequency to be allowed to move forward with it. You will understand more as various changes continue to happen, various events continue to occur, various announcements that are yet still to come. But they are coming, and the changes are happening even now as I speak to you. Watch for them. Over the next several weeks and months, there is going to be tremendous change to your lives as you know them now. And the lives that you know now are not going to be the same those weeks and months after this. Everything, and much, is changing and continuing to change. Just allow for the process to continue to move through. Or again, it is a process, and you, and we cannot interfere with that process. We can only help to move it along wherever it is possible to do. I am Ashtar, and I leave you now in peace, and love, and oneness, and that you continue to look to the skies so that you can see, all of you that are on this call, all of you can see that we are indeed here and ready to move in and assist when that signal is given. Mani, Padme, Hum. Mani, Padme, Hum. Greetings to you, one who serves here, and Shoshana is here. And we are ready to continue this process. Just as Ashtar has says, just as many of us have been saying for some time, it is indeed a process that you are all moving through. And we cannot do it for you. We can only do it in assistance manner along with you. And that is what this is all about. You cannot do it for anyone else. You can only do it for yourself. And if you continue to move through your lives in that manner, going moment to moment, living in the moment, and enjoying every moment that you possibly can, then you will not be looking at these things that are occurring as coming too slow. You will see them coming in exactly the time frame and the frequency that they need to appear to you. That is what we have to say. We are ready for your questions. If you have them, you can unmute your phones and ask questions. Guest, I have one. Can you hear me? OWS. Yes, we hear you. Yes, guest. Good. Regarding the councils that Ashtar was talking about, are there representatives of 3D Earth also on these councils, such as even some of ourselves in other forms? And, if so, can you tell us who are there? OWS. It is interesting that you have brought that up, for indeed many of you have attended these council meetings. Not, of course, in your waking state, but in your sleep state where you do not then remember that you were there. And many are attending these council meetings. Even those peers from your earth that are in physical body also can be there in these council meetings. Certain ones we cannot go into who they are at this point. We think you have a general idea of who they might be, though, especially that one that is coming back into the picture here really shortly here, you know who that is. And we can tell you that there are many of these council meetings that are happening all over the galaxy here, because it is not just the Earth that is going through transformation, but the entire solar system, and even the galaxy is going through this transformation. It is just the Earth, Gaia, is leading the way here, you see? Okay, guest, indeed. OWS, Shoshana, do you have anything to add here? Shoshana, Joanna Higher Self. Channeled by Joanna McConnell. He is still speaking. OWS. Yes, Shoshana, he is still speaking. OWS. Yes, guest, I just want to know if the person that you are referring to is a man, and are his initials DT? OWS. You already know that answer. Guest, Lefts I do. OWS. Yes, he is one of them. Yes, Shoshana, do you have anything that you would add? Shoshana, we do not. OWS. Very good. Then we take another question, if there is one. Guest, yes, I have one. OWS. Yes, guest, I was wondering if you would comment on the Ashtar crop circle that just came out. It pretty amazing. It a little late in the season for it to come out, but it looked real. And I was wondering if you WOULDN mind commenting on that. OWS. We will tell you that it is a sign. Beyond that, we cannot say much more at this point. It is a sign, though, if the times, and what is in the process of occurring, as Ashtar has given, here. Okay, guest, thank you. OWS. Shoshana, do you have anything to add? Shoshana, we will add here. May we add? Guest, oh yes, absolutely. Thank you. Cheers. Shoshana, we will add that as one who serves has given, it is a sign, and it is a sign for those that have eyes to see, ears to hear, and the heart to understand. Namaste. OWS. Yes. Guest, thank you. OWS. Very good. Are there any further questions? Guest, yes. Can you please elaborate for us, so we understand? When we hear the term white hats, are we speaking of just the higher level military and leaders on the good side, or are we also speaking of the galactics, and the councils, and maybe some archangels. Are they actually powerfully interacting with the leaders? OWS. There is a differentiation between the ones of the dark hats and the white hats, so there is a difference there. But when you are looking at the ones that are the white hats, you are looking at much more than that, as the alliance that is made up of so much more than what you think of as just the military. The alliance is exactly that, an alliance of those that are the resistance force here on this planet, as well as all of those that come from above, from your brothers and sisters from the skies. They are all a part of this great alliance, as well as many of the ascended masters, and all that are participating in this entire process that is continuing to unfold each and every moment here, as we move forward. Okay, Shoshana, do you have anything to add here? Shoshana, do you wish for us to add, dear sister, or was this satisfying to you? Guest, that was satisfying. It gives us a little more ability to trust in what's going on, now that we know who is actually coming together for making these decisions. Thank you, Shoshana, Namaste. OWS. Yes, so we just confirm that it is not just the military. There is so much more in this, but it is the military, as far as those that have pledged to their constitution of this country, as well as the constitutions across the entire planet, to right the wrongs that have been going on for a very long time here. Okay, would there be other questions here? Guest, I actually do have another, now that you said that, if that okay? OWS. Yes, guest, because there just came a post out on one of the social medias. It was about the trucking convoy, and it said to be careful, because there was going to be a 3-day blackout, and all of the truckers were going to be arrested. I automatically got the sense and the guidance that this could be disinformation, and it could actually be the Alliance who is about to arrest the bad guys. We've been hearing about that for a long time. So I advise people to use their discernment. And I wonder, am I on track with speaking that might be disinformation? OWS. We will tell you the same thing that you say you are telling others. Use your discernment. We cannot give you what exactly is occurring here, because it is a part of the greater plan here that is happening. And we cannot, as we say many times, spoil the surprise for you. Nor can we interfere in the process as it develops. Shoshana, do you have anything you want to add? Shoshana, we wish to add, but we cannot. We know the truth, but we cannot add, because those that seek the truth must find it on their own. OWS. Yes, Shoshana, Namaste. Guest. Okay, thank you. OWS. Very good. Are there any further questions before we release channel? Guest. I have one little one. OWS. Yes, guest. I was wondering if you can give us a percentage of how much control the AI intelligence still has on this planet. Is it diminishing quite a bit? Is it like 20% now? Could you comment? OWS. We will just say here very little at this point. It has been altered greatly over the time here. Again, as a part of the greater process that is unfolding. Guest. Okay, thank you. OWS. We cannot give a definite percentage. Shoshana. We will add. OWS. Yes, Shoshana, may we add, dear brother? Guest. Oh, yes, Shoshana, this idea directly correlates to the consciousness of man. As the consciousness of man rises, that which you call AI diminishes. When on each individual level, the individual that sees it for what it is, no longer empowers it. So as consciousness rises, this thing called AI is given less power. Namaste. Guest. Perfect. Thank you. Shoshana. Namaste. OWS. Very good. Any further questions? Guest. Okay, I have to jump in with one more, if that okay? You just brought up another one. Is it okay? OWS. Yes. Guest. Okay. So you say that the AI thing is diminishing, but I understood Pleiadian could be a combination of some kind of AI technology as well as a being with a soul. Maybe that incorrect? Or is it something to do with progression or something? Is that true? OWS. We are speaking more of what you would call a negative AI influence here, When we say it is diminishing, the AI influence that you are speaking of continues on with consciousness. In other words, as man consciousness increases, then the AI process goes along with that consciousness, rather than against it. Guessed. Great. That means we can have AI in a positive direction, but not negative. OWS. Yes, most definitely. As we have said many times, technology can go either way. It can be used for what you might consider good, or it can be used for evil. You see? Do you have anything to add? Shoshana, we can add here, if you wish. Do you wish for us to add, dear sister guest? Certainly. Shoshana, this is a complicated issue, because it is not black and white. You see, it is not one thing or the other thing. As one who serves as given, it is simply a magnification process, an enhancement process, of what is already there. So when you speak of Pleiadians, their focus of perspective is pure. They are there to help you. They are there to move you forward in consciousness as you wish for that, as you ask for that. But they use a tool here and a tool there that enhances the process and magnifies their own power, that is called at a third-dimensional level artificial intelligence. You see though, this term, I, does not really explain the process. It does not really show what is possible here. The idea of what you call I is intrinsic in so many things, including limbs that are being replaced. Limbs are being replaced by machinery. Parts of the body that are being replaced by artificial hearts, or artificial this, or artificial that. The challenge is calling it artificial. You see, we must come up with a better term. Namaste. OWS. And we would add here that when you look at the many ships that are above you and watching over this entire process, they are operating with what you would consider artificial intelligence, or we will call consciousness. The ships themselves have consciousness. Shoshana, it is not so good of a term. OWS. Yes, that is correct. Guest. Great. Thank you so much. OWS. Yes. Guest. May I ask a question? OWS. Yes. Guest. There are a lot of what we would call message stories about a being called Santa Claus, or Kris Kringle. I felt prompted by watching some Christmas movies to ask what is the original start of the true being, because I have a sense that what was brought forth was a being, an individual, or maybe a consciousness from maybe off planet to the earth for its purpose of the Christmas thing of love and light and generosity. Can you go a little deeper with that? OWS. You would just say the origination of your Santa Claus comes from long ago with the one that is the one of Nicholas, and began as a process of sharing what one had with another that did not have what they had. You see? So it was a giving process that began in love and peace, and bringing peace not to the world back then, but to peace around them. You see? So it was just a process that continued on, and then became the Santa Claus because of the children, and the children that would love this type of story, and this type of thing. So it gained significance, we will say, from the place where it began all of this to the world, giving it to the world here. That is all we can say on this. Shoshana, maybe you have more perspective here? Shoshana, we can add here. May we add, dear sister guest? Yes. Shoshana, dear sister, as with all things, with all concepts, with all ideas, with all manifestations, this is an archetype, and this is an archetype of love, compassion, and giving, without the idea of receiving back. You see, the true idea of giving is to give without expectation of receiving. Each individual that gives from their heart, that offers their service without the expectation of receiving, has the archetypal spirit of this that you know of the Santa Claus, or the Saint Nicholas. It is the concept. It is the archetype of giving. Namaste. OWS. Very good. Any further question? We need to release channel, but we take one more question if there is one. Guest. Greetings. May I ask a question? OWS. Yes you can. Guest. Dear one who serves, and Master Shoshana, I understand that we have to exercise patience and so many other things because we are in a school, and that the school cycle repeats itself. You know, sometimes things are bad, Sometimes things are good, and some things are in transition, and later on they are going to go back to being bad, and good, and in transition. I understand this cycle, and I am no longer attached to its results because I know there is some changing the school. It is a school. However, I would like to speak for all of those who feel almost a feeling of betrayal because for so long we have been told to keep on sending the light, keep on doing what you can, keep on doing this and that, and, some of us have taken it to heart, with our being, with our travels, with our fun to go at war about this, right? And then to hear that a council says, well, you guys are not ready, let's hold it off. Or like the other day I heard another master say, well, the RVHAS and happen because the ones in control are just not ready for it. This could blow our minds, to think that so many of us have been pushing so hard, and some dark being out there seems to feel like they don't want to share, and they are still in control. I mean, can you help us understand how is this possible? Where is the conflict of removing these beings that are blocking this process? And are we just wasting our time when we just keep on pushing and pushing and pushing? Should we take on a more laissez-faire approach of just come and meditate and think happy thoughts, and just let it happen when it will happen? Please kindly elaborate. Thank you. OWS. We will look at this from the larger picture, from what could have happened. In other words, all of these council meetings that have been occurring have been going through the process of bringing this further along much faster than it could have been, or was going to be. And also, you must understand that annihilation of the entire planet was a part of the plan of those of the dark forces, and that was shifted, of course. That was altered, and is continuing to be altered in various ways. So the one that said earlier quite adequately that you are at warp speed is correct. You are going much, much faster here through this process than any of those council meetings came to an understanding of. They did not think that the Earth, that the collective consciousness of man here on this planet, many did not think that you could do this. But there were those, such as Sanat Kumara, Sananda, and others that said yes they can, and we will help them through the process. We will not do it for them, but we will help them. And that is exactly what is happening. And more have come into the alliance than you can possibly imagine at this point. So those of the dark forces cannot possibly be able to defeat those of the alliance here, for it is so much beyond their meager third-dimensional understanding at this point. You see, Shoshana, do you have anything you wish to add? Shoshana, oh, we have so much to add. We are not certain that we need to add, but we will add if you wish, dear brother guest. Yes, please do. So many of us are lingering along those missed feelings. Thank you. Shoshana, dear brother, we are sorry. We feel in our heart the pain that you feel of betrayal, of disappointment, of sadness, of frustration. We feel all those things from you. But all of those feelings, dear brother, are because your planet has the element of time, and time is a deceiver. Time, the idea that things take too long, or they don't take long enough, or the time is too short, or the time is a deceiver of movement and consciousness. This planet looks like it goes slowly, but it has been around for billions of years. And what is occurring now is phenomenal, is amazing to all those that are standing by, and, as one who serves has given, looking at the big picture, you see. You cannot nitpick. You cannot say, well, this person didn't get a Thanksgiving dinner, or this person didn't have new clothes, or this person is a drug addict, or worse things are happening than we could ever imagine. You cannot do that, you see, because that gives power to those things. You must see the glory of God in everything. You must see the movement and consciousness in everything. No matter how slight, no matter how small, there is great movement happening. Please, dear brother, do not rely on the element of time to tell you what is really happening. You must feel it in your heart. You must be the love that you came to be. You must be the change that you came to be. Even though this is difficult in so many ways, we see you, we exalt you, we bow to you. Namaste. OWS. Very good. Then we are ready to release channel Shoshana. If you wish, you can give parting message, or we will move on. Shoshana, we do not OWS. Very good. Then we just say continue to be who you are, moving through the process day by day, or, better even, moment by moment, and allow it all to play out, again, as we have said many times, as a movie playing out before you. And know that at some point the movie will come to an end, at least an end that will prepare you for the next movement in consciousness that comes after that. Shanti. Peace be with you. Be the one. Channeled by James McConnell.